employees from the beginning. By partnering with the local community college and Kentucky Trans, this opportunity has allowed us to build custom training programs for our employees to participate in. The South Korean Lotte facility has been kind enough to provide us with support as we start the facility up by sending some of their seasoned employees for the startup. We are building a solid partnership with our Korean colleagues by ensuring that they are receiving various trainings around the U.S. culture so that their transition here in Kentucky is a smooth and a welcome one. We have also partnered with the local community college to provide our U.S. employees with some training on Korean culture as well. We value our partnership as a team and embrace our diversity with the mindset of one team, one vision, and one goal. Thank
you. While Lotte is a new company to Kentucky, it is a massive company in South Korea with operations in many places in the world and business in a number of different sectors. I got to visit the company when I was in Seoul just about a month ago, and the opportunity to have such a sophisticated company open up a facility in Kentucky gives us opportunity for growth over time. This is a big win for us. We're going to make sure it's a big win for this company, and we can't wait for the decades to come and how this partnership grows and evolves. Speaking of our workforce, just this week, we announced that over 4,000 Kentuckians are expected to receive skills training thanks to the Bluegrass State Skills Corps. This month's approvals included workforce training for over 1,200 employees at TJ Sampson Community Hospital in Glasgow and Adair County's TJ Health Columbia. We have a message from LaDonna Rogers, Executive Vice President of HR, Culture, and Engagement, and also a real leader in that area in so many different ways. She's from TJ Regional Health to talk a little bit more about the training initiative.
We would like to thank Governor Beshear to let you know how proud we are that we are the recipient of the Bluegrass State Skills Grant this year in the amount of $106,000. These type of grants are so important to rural Kentucky because it allows employers the opportunity to provide training to their staff that they might not otherwise have access to. Fortunately, we have been the recipient of this grant for the past 3 years. We have employees in both Glasgow and Columbia, and we are able to provide training for both technical and clinical skills, leadership development skills, and any other skills that our staff may need to promote staff development. TJ Regional Health has a goal to have staff that feels confident and competent in their skills, and monies like this will allow us the opportunity to achieve our goal of providing the best possible care for all the patients of South Central Kentucky.
The approvals also include funding to support 197 workers at Novellus Corporation in Guthrie. Novellus operates a major sheet, ingot, casting, shredding, and recycling center in Todd County, and it's a vital part of our state's thriving automotive and metals sector. Today, I'm joined by a friend, Tom Lilienthal, plant manager at Novellus Guthrie. Tom's going to share a little bit about what they're doing, but Tom himself represents a whole lot of the excitement that's going on in Kentucky, having moved his family for this opportunity to the Commonwealth. His kid's about the same age as my kids, growing up right here in Kentucky. We're proud to have you. We're proud to have Novellus.
Thank you for that introduction, Governor. My name is Tom Lilienthal. I'm the plant manager for Novellus in Guthrie, and it is my honor to join you today. Novellus is a leading producer of flat-rolled aluminum products, the world's largest recycler of aluminum, and we employ over 300 hardworking employees in Guthrie. Our finishing lines, commissioned in 2020, serve the automotive industry with aluminum used to create lighter weight, sustainable vehicles. Our brand new recycling plant, now ramping up, converts used automotive aluminum into new. Novellus is proud to operate an aluminum recycling plant in Berea, as well as our joint venture, Logan Aluminum, in Russellville. In total, that's nearly 2,000 employees across the state. I want to offer a heartfelt thank you from Novellus to the Kentucky Cabinet for Economic Development for your generous support of our workforce development plans through the Bluegrass State Skills Corporation grant. As you can imagine, it is both exciting and daunting to come into Guthrie just 4 years ago and determine how to provide community members with the necessary skills to work in the aluminum manufacturing industry. Ensuring that our people understand how to safely and efficiently run a 24/7 hour operation in support of our automotive customers is essential. And thankfully, we do not have to do it alone. With your support, Novellus has already trained 100 people lacking manufacturing experience with technical and leadership skills that they need to be successful. We have standardized our new employee training, provided important technical skills related to equipment repair and maintenance, and most recently, launched a leadership skills program with this funding. The Kentucky Manufacturing Extension Partnership and the University of Louisville have been excellent partners and collaborators in developing this critical training. And it comes as no surprise that the caliber of people we have hired in Kentucky is outstanding. We are grateful for this opportunity to further our employee training program with this $100,000 grant. Thank you, Governor Beshear and the Cabinet for Economic Development for helping us prepare the local workforce to take on fulfilling aluminum manufacturing jobs in Todd County. You have given us a great start on an exciting road ahead for Novellus in Kentucky. Thank you very much.
Training funds approved last week are also supporting 115 trainees at Murakami Manufacturing USA in Campbellsville, 293 trainees at Roll Forming Corp in Shelbyville, 565 workers at Sazerac Distillers in Owensboro, and 108 trainees at AGC Flat Glass North America in Richmond. I want to thank BSSC. This is a great program where we continue to invest in our workforce because it means better jobs for our people and it helps us attract the very best employers. When we fund these types of programs, we say to these businesses that we are going to be long-term partners, invested in their business and invested in giving them the very best because we know they turn around and give us their very best. We're also continuing to make major strides in our site development and speed to market efforts with the announcement earlier this month of a new build-ready location in Rowan County. The site at the John Will Stacy MMRC Regional Industrial Park, located on the one and only Rocky Atkins Tech Drive in Moorhead, yes, they included that in my comments, adds to the state's growing list of properties that have been certified build-ready by the Cabinet for Economic Development. These sites are available across the state for companies looking to locate in the Commonwealth and start construction and grow jobs quickly. Just think about this evolution. We were talking shovel ready 5 years ago. We're talking build ready now. That is how competitive we are and what we can promise to companies that come in, that we are doing the work, that we are further ahead, and that we can get them up and running faster than any other state. Our commitment to site development is paving the way for more quality companies to choose the Commonwealth as the home for their business, bringing new opportunities for Kentuckians with them. I want to thank local leadership in Moorhead and Rowan counties. We've always worked closely with this group, and they continue to bring forward great projects that create more opportunity. And Moorhead isn't the only community making news with its major site development work. Henderson County has just announced a new regional build-ready site in the 4-star Regional Industrial Park. This site is the largest graded building pad the Kentucky program has seen to date at over 1.1 million square feet. In other words, it is a build-ready site that could support a pretty massive facility. It's a regional project where numerous counties have come together, McLean, Union, and Webster counties, along with Henderson, saying if we land a big employer here, it will benefit all of our people. We didn't see this type of regional cooperation a decade ago. We see it in the East. We're going to hear from a number of our judges here in a minute. And here you're seeing it in the West. This is going to help us be competitive too. More people, working together. And I've seen it with employers. When you have 4 or 5 county judges all together saying, we will meet your needs, it instills that extra level of confidence. And it should remind all of us that economic development isn't just a state initiative. It is a county, it is a local, it is everyone pushing in the same direction together. The site was previously approved in June of 2023 for a $1.4 million grant in state funding to help create the site grading plan. So our state's Build Ready program has now grown significantly over the years, and I'm excited to see this momentum in Henderson County. Now we have a video from Henderson County Judge Executive Brad Schneider highlighting the benefits of the new site.
Thank you, Governor. It truly is an exciting day in Northwest Kentucky as we christen the building of this new 1 million square foot Build Ready industrial pad. It's a game changer for a 4-star industrial park, which, as you know, was created decades ago in a partnership between Henderson, Union, Webster, and McLean counties. And this piece of property had always drawn interest, but we'd never been able to finalize a deal because it was sloped and there were a lot of hurdles in developing it. But now, thanks to the Product Development Initiative, PDI, plan that the administration and the Economic Development Cabinet market and the legislature made possible, we are ready to go on this property. It's the largest Build Ready pad of its type in the state. More than 220,000 square yards of dirt was moved to create it. And we think it's going to be the perfect spot for some companies' new Kentucky home in Northwest Kentucky. So thank you. We can't wait to show it off to the wider world. We think the next big ribbon cutting in the Commonwealth is going to be right here in Henderson County at 4-Star Industrial Park. Thank you for all your help.
Well, I want to thank Judge Schneider specifically. When we talk about economic development not being Democrat or Republican, red or blue, I've had the opportunity to work with him through my reelection, through his, and so many other things in politics that could have pulled people apart. But both the two of us, our staffs, and everyone else always put professionalism and the people of the Commonwealth ahead of any of the rest. So, very appreciative of his good work as well as his teams. Last week, we also announced 6 innovative Kentucky companies are receiving $650,000 in state matching grants to support high-paying jobs and further grow the state thriving industries. The grants are a part of the Commonwealth's nationally recognized Small Business Innovation Research and Small Business Technology Transfer Matching Funds program. These funds will match in part $4.6 million in collective federal agency grants. These are 6 Kentucky-based businesses, if we can put them up on the screen, that were awarded matching funds. They're using technology to advance multiple fields from artificial intelligence and virtual reality to agriculture and food research. High-tech companies are growing at an impressive rate in our state. We must ensure that momentum continues by investing the resources, people, investing in the resources, the people, and the small businesses that are energizing our communities. Remember, every major corporation in the world started somewhere and typically started with a small group of people. This is our hope that that next Microsoft, that next Google, that next large company starts right here in Kentucky and grows out, but always calls us home. To close out today's economic development update, last week, Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman joined local officials and leadership from Jackson Purchase Distillery, a startup bourbon producer, to celebrate and cut the ribbon on a new rick house for the company's distilling operation in Fulton County. The $10 million investment is adding to the company's $26 million that they have done in an expansion project announced in October of 2022 and has created 54 new jobs. This project is a fantastic addition to Fulton County, and I'd like to congratulate Jackson Purchase Distilling on this important milestone. Now we're going to move to our continued work on rebuilding from the Eastern Kentucky flooding and some exciting announcements that are going to help our local officials do just that. So just over 2 years ago, our Eastern Kentucky families faced the unimaginable. Floods that took the lives of 45 Kentuckians, each one a child of God, beloved, and that is still missed today. Thousands of people left homeless. Everything that people had worked for decades washed away in less than 48 hours. When I visited after the floods, I made a promise, but so did all these county judges and mayors, commissioners, magistrates, everybody, that we might have been knocked down, but we were not knocked out. We were going to get up. We were going to march forward together. And no matter how long it took, we were going to rebuild every home and every life. And a couple of weeks ago, in the midst of some of the craziness that I was going through, I got a chance to tour these high ground communities we're building, to be in Jackson and Breathitt County. And I knew that this is where I was supposed to be, and we are absolutely going to see this through. Less than a month after the floods, I called for a special legislative session to help speed up the recovery. I was proud to work with the legislature and grateful the General Assembly appropriated $212 million to the Eastern Kentucky State Aid for Emergencies, or EK SAFE Fund. Since then, we've been using these funds to help our communities recover, and we have more awards to announce today. These dollars will help these communities continue to work to serve their citizens and to build back stronger and better. I got to be in Wayland. One of the judges we'll introduce in a minute, just weeks ago, and I got to hear a grandfather whose daughter and grandchildren were going to live in that house with him talk about it was going to be the nicest home he'd ever lived in. For somebody to have been through the worst of the worst, seeing the best of the best, and get to see the joy in his grandkids' face while they picked out their room, something special that tells us that we are doing something right. So today, we're announcing more than $23 million in additional Eastern Kentucky SAFE funds benefiting 14 recipients. Every award today are for cities, counties, and school districts in Eastern Kentucky whose budgets have been impacted by the flooding. Each of these awards is based on requests that were submitted to the Department for Local Government, as well as the Kentucky Department for Education. I'm going to read all the awards, and then we're going to hear from some great leaders about what these dollars will do. The City of Beattyville in Lee County will receive $350,000. The City of Boonville in Owsley County will receive $325,000. Breathitt County will receive $3 million. And the Breathitt County Board of Education will receive $3.3 million. The City of Buckhorn, which was hit hard, will receive $500,000. The City of Fleming Neon will receive $350,000. Floyd County will receive $2.5 million. The City of Hindman in Knott County will receive $750,000. The City of Jackson in Breathitt County, $400,000. Knott County will receive $250,000. Lee County will receive more than $860,000. Letcher County will receive more than $5.4 million. Owsley County, $350,000. And Perry County will receive $5 million. And these are just the newest awards. Now, we've been doing everything we can, working with local leaders, finding every pot of money that's out there in any way to make sure we're bringing every resource that we can. And let me tell you, each of them has scrapped it out every day in their community since the flooding, working nonstop to do everything they can to rebuild. We at the state get to help, but we know they live it every single day, and we're really proud of their leadership to stand next to them. So first up, I want to invite Breathitt County Judge Executive Jeff Noble to accept $3 million for the county. Here's $3 million. You want to mention the award? I did.
Again, this is just another great day for Breathitt County and for the state of Kentucky to be able to get some more hope. We've got quite a few people that's displaced. We've got quite a few people that's leaving county. And this year will just bring some hope to show that we're working hard. The governor's behind us, working hard. He's been there since day one, 2 days after the flood. And here he was in Jackson when the road was barely even passable at the time. But I can't thank you enough, Governor, for what you and your cabinet team Kentucky does in Breathitt County.
We appreciate you. And Judge, while you're here, so not only is Breathitt County today receiving $3 million directly, 3.3 to the Board of Education, But I'm proud to announce that the nearly $50 million project to improve KY-15 in Breathitt County is now underway. This is a heavily traveled corridor that will bring much anticipated improvements and enhanced safety and economic benefits for Breathitt County and for Eastern Kentucky. It's going to add lanes and sidewalks to the busy stretch of road that is in Jackson, but it also further strengthens and stabilizes the dam that holds Panbowl Lake, a dam that we were worried would break in not just the 2022 flooding, but the 2021, where city officials, county officials, and the state police actually ordered an evacuation and thankfully got everyone out. The worry that we could have flooded almost all of Jackson instead of the large part that did sustain that damage. The project received $21.1 million from the Rebuilding America Infrastructure with Sustainability and Equity, that's called the RAISE grant, made possible by the bipartisan infrastructure law. Very grateful to the Biden-Harris administration, which we lobbied over and over and over, talking about the importance of this project. So, $50 million project underway. Hopefully make sure we don't flood again. And we're proud to stand with you, Judge.
And again, I appreciate that. Again, in 21, we had to evacuate the hospital nursing home, and they would have been hundreds of homes just completely destroyed if the breach hadn't quit when it had. But then in 2022, here it was repeat the same thing, but then they came in and built this down, and it's just a sigh of relief for everybody that lives in that area, but also for the county.
Thank you, Judge.
Sure.
Keep doing good work. Next, I'd like to invite Floyd County Judge Executive Robbie Williams to speak and accept this $2.5 million check. Hello, Judge. How are you? All right, William is yours.
All right, thank you, sir. I was just here a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
We were talking about, and I keep repeating what you told us day one. You've been with us every step of the way. We certainly appreciate the EK Safe funding, the hard work that you and your administration do to ensure that that we try to make these families whole again, or as close as we can get. And this funding goes a long ways towards filling some of those gaps and helping us in our recovery effort. There's still a long way to go. You know, I tell folks on a scale from 1 to 10 during the flood, Floyd County, it was a 10. But I look at my neighbors, Breathitt, Nottledge, or Perry, it was a 15. It was just off the scale. And you know, I'm probably happier for them than I am the folks in Floyd County. But we appreciate everything that you do. There's a long road ahead. I want to thank our legislators that came to bat. We were in the final stages of this past session, and you know, they came to bat for us in the final days, and they put this additional funding in there. It's going to be greatly needed. So on behalf of the residents of Floyd County, all the folks in Eastern Kentucky, thank you, Governor. Thank your administration for everything that you do for us.
Now I'd invite Perry County Judge Executive Scott Alexander. If you want to bring your hazard mayor on up, come on up, Happy, to please accept this $5 million check.
No, it's another great day for East Kentucky, Appalachia, and Perry County. And Governor, we want to give you a huge thanks for being there from day one. You told us you would be there, and you was there. And we want to thank the General Assembly, who has really, really helped us. Without these funds, we wouldn't be here today. The disasters in Kentucky, they're getting bigger than the counties. What I mean by that is it's far bigger than the budgets that we could ever have to rebuild the hope that our people deserve. There's a long way to go. There's a long way to go, but when you see us get these funds, you'll see us start doing more FEMA work to help people get back to where they need to be. And Governor, you said earlier that Kentucky is a happening place, and it is for jobs. But one of the great things about Kentucky is living here. We've seen this during the disaster. And that's where neighbor help neighbor and stranger help stranger. And I don't want to let today get by without saying the greatest workforce left in America is in the old hills of Appalachia. We mined that coal that powered this nation to where it's at today. So we really appreciate the help that the General Assembly and you have gave us. Thanks.
And finally, we have our Letcher County judge. Come on up. Let me tell you, I still remember when I could first get into Letcher County. It took a little bit because the roads had been flooded, and really hadn't met this gentleman or talked to him much before that day. So we were basically saying hi to each other in the middle of an emergency. But we have stood together, worked together, developed a good partnership and a good friendship. And while they didn't print you a check today, that $5+ million is already, I'm told, going to your bank account, which I think is where you want to see it. So, let's get it, Judge.
The flood in 22, it destroyed my county and Eastern Kentucky. And our governor stepped up, like these other judges said from day one, and he come to our assistance, and we'll forever be grateful for that. And this continued support of 5 point something, a lot of zeros.
Yes.
We need that money, and we'll put it to good use. I want to thank the legislature, the governor, and his team. We couldn't survive in Eastern Kentucky without you guys. We appreciate it.
These judges, their mayors, all their commissioners and magistrates, everybody who works in their administration deserves the lion's share of the credit here. Proud that we're at a moment in time with big budget surpluses, with a thriving economy that allows us to be able to really be there in a special way for folks that have been through way too much. So just as an update on recovery highlights, what their hard work has meant, the Team Eastern Kentucky Flood Relief Fund has now raised more than $13.2 million from over 41,500 donors. It provided funeral expenses for every single one of those 45 individuals that we lost. It provided immediate relief payments to individuals who had suffered property damage. And we're using those dollars to rebuild and repair homes with nonprofit partners. We've now announced 7 high ground communities in 4 counties. Together, these communities will bring over 500 new homes to the area. And on top of that, we've announced a bunch in Breathitt County and are finding new spots of land every day to build more. If you were impacted by the floods in 2021 or 2022, we encourage you to go to housingcan'twait.org and fill out the questionnaire to see if you qualify for funding. FEMA has also approved individual assistance applications now for 8,775 Eastern Kentucky flood survivors, totaling more than $110.5 million under the Individual and Households Program. In public assistance funding, we've now received over $274.7 million from FEMA. So folks, this might be the toughest rebuild this country's ever seen, but it happened to the toughest of people. And really proud of their continued work day in and day out. So thank you all. Today, I'm also providing an update on the ongoing efforts to support those impacted by more recent disasters across our Commonwealth. We're committed to making sure that any and every survivor of these natural disasters have the resources and support needed to rebuild. First, we have an update on our Commonwealth Sheltering Program. That's from all of these disasters. Right now, 74 of our fellow Kentuckians are being sheltered. They are staying in 22 travel trailers and 1 hotel spread across locations that include Pennyrile State Park, Western Kentucky RV Park, and Mine Made Adventure Park, as well as various private sites. This program is a lifeline providing safe shelter and stability, especially for those, for instance, in areas in Hopkins County, they've gotten hit twice in 2.5 years. One of the same corners got hit twice, once by an F4 and once by an F3 in Barnsley. Second, Kentucky Emergency Management has relaunched the Disaster Needs Portal. This is an online resource for those seeking emergency shelter, as well as families who need to register for assistance and other unmet needs. You can register for assistance in several ways, which are on the screen. We also have an update on federal assistance that our families are receiving. As of yesterday, FEMA has dispersed a little over $1.3 million in individual assistance funds to 883 survivors across 15 counties affected by the Memorial Day weekend storms. As you recall, those were severe enough to where we received individual assistance from FEMA. For those that have applied for federal aid, if you receive a letter from FEMA stating that you are ineligible, I want you to know you have a right to appeal. And Eastern Kentucky showed us that if you don't stop and you keep pushing, not only can you secure dollars and benefits, but you can change the way that FEMA operates. Every natural disaster that's occurred since that flooding, people have been treated better because our people were tough enough and wouldn't take no for an answer. And I think caused and created the most significant changes in how FEMA goes about helping out people after a natural disaster. And while living through that was tough, I hope it's something that especially the people of Eastern Kentucky are really proud of, because whether it's in Hawaii or any other places that were hit by natural disasters, our efforts, their efforts made a big difference in how people are treated today. Carefully, if you receive that ineligibility letter, carefully read it, as it will explain the reasons for the decision. I urge you to appeal and continue seeking the help you need. You can apply for assistance or file an appeal in several ways, including, I think we have another slide for this. Yeah. In person at a disaster recovery center, online at disasterassistance.gov, by phone, and via the FEMA app. You know, my big preference is talking to someone at a disaster recovery center. They may recognize some things in the application that you might not, and that's why these resources are there. If you use a relay service, such as video relay service, please provide FEMA with your relay service number. Also, I have some positive news for individuals that were impacted by that Memorial Day storm. Individuals in those 15 counties, those are Butler, Caldwell, Callaway, Christian, Clay, Greenup, Hopkins, Knox, Logan, Muhlenberg, Simpson, Todd, Trigg, Warren, and Whitley counties who are living or working in the area and became unemployed or had work interrupted as a direct result of the Memorial Day weekend storms, you are eligible to apply for disaster unemployment assistance benefits through the Kentucky Office of Unemployment Insurance. So to learn more about this assistance and to see if you qualify, you can contact the Kentucky Career Center in one of the ways on the screen. You can visit the website at kcc.ky.gov, or you can call this number, 502-875-0442. Really important, the deadline to apply for disaster unemployment assistance, if you're in those 15 counties for the Memorial Day weekend storms, is October the 9th. That'll get here faster than you think. So October 9th is that deadline. We've also established disaster recovery centers across the Commonwealth that provide in-person assistance to families in need. The centers are open Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. They're closed on Sundays. The locations are up on the screen. Again, they are spread out in an attempt to give people as many options as possible. We also have a mobile disaster recovery center in the following locations, which are Whitley, Butler, Logan, and Todd counties. So we have some locations that are semi-permanent until we get enough people through. And then we also have these mobile locations that we're moving around trying to reach as many people as possible. We continue to navigate these challenging times, but know that we support you. And that if your area, if you are happen to be hit by one of these natural disasters, we'll be there for you, just like we were there for so many Kentuckians throughout these challenges that we faced. And finally, our team, Kentucky All-Star, I'm pretty excited about this one. So we've now wrapped up the 2024 Paris Olympics. If you watched the closing ceremonies, you saw the avant-garde performance in Paris, and then you saw Snoop Dogg in the United States. It was a great year for America, and it was also a great year for Kentucky. We had so many athletes make us proud. But one athlete in particular I want to recognize is Olympic fencer Lee Kiefer, who grew up in Lexington. Lee won her second consecutive gold medal in individual foil in Paris. She also won gold in team foil, making her the first American fencer in history to win 3 Olympic gold medals. It is truly amazing. To Lee, you have represented Kentucky and the United States of America so well. We are so proud of you, and we're really excited. We've got a video from you to share with everybody today.
Hi, Governor. Thank you so much for recognizing me this week. It is an absolute honor as a Kentuckian to represent our state and our country on an international stage. I just want to take a second to thank my coach and all my teammates at Bluegrass Fencers Club, my family, and just everyone else who supported me and enjoyed the Olympic Games. And then check out the hardware.
And that is apparently what an Olympic gold medal looks like. We would have loved to have Lee here today, but apparently you're busy when you have won an Olympic gold medal. And I think she's going all around the country being recognized, which just brings more honor and esteem to Kentucky. Also doing amazing things as she looks at a career in medicine. So really impressive. Also, if you remember back in that individual fencing or foil final, there were 2 Americans that faced off against each other, and then the 2 of them were the anchors for the team gold win. So pretty special that we had someone from the United States win gold and silver in individual, and then come together and win it in the team. So with that, we'll turn it over to questions. We've got a couple of journalists here with us and a few on the phone. We'll start with the returning Tom Latek. Okay, we'll go to Carolina and come back to Tom. So the question is, with Ohio now moving to recreational marijuana, is it creating any issues for us? No, it shouldn't. Our medicinal marijuana program is very clear. We've been able to work both with the legislature through regulations and with law enforcement to come up with a simple checklist of what people have to have if they are possessing what they claim is medicinal marijuana. But just remember, if you buy recreational marijuana in Ohio and bring it to Kentucky, right now it's illegal. That's just what the law is. We are excited about our program that will be up and running in January and provide relief to everybody from veterans suffering from PTSD to those suffering from cancer. But I think what we're seeing both in the medicinal and the recreational markets is states have now been doing this for a long time. Law enforcement has seen it. You can definitely see the best and the worst practices. And Ohio has typically in their medicinal, and I haven't seen all the rules on recreational, taken a lot of those lessons learned and tried to apply them. So I don't anticipate anything significant, but people need to understand that our program at this point is just medicinal. And you can't get around that by going to another state and bringing it back here. Tom. Okay. So the question is, with the Veep Stakes over, that was 3 weeks where Kentucky was recognized, hundreds of millions of dollars of coverage. I hope I did us proud. That was my goal the whole time, to make sure people were looking up to Kentucky, not down at us like they've done for far too long. And I don't remember a time when a Kentuckian was going through this process. So it was just pretty neat to see Kentucky written with all of those other states. With that said, I don't intend to accept any position in Washington, D.C. This is where I'm supposed to be. And I had that moment touring Eastern Kentucky where I knew it in my heart. I knew it in my soul. And I'm looking forward to finishing these next 3.5 years, to rebuilding, but more than that, to revitalizing. I mean, all these jobs that are coming in and hundreds of millions of dollars of coverage in this all over the world just introduces a lot of people to Kentucky, a lot of potential employers that might not have been given us a first, second, or third look. So I'm pretty excited about hopefully what this does for all of us moving forward. And I'm excited I get to continue here. My kids are happy. My family is happy. The state has wrapped their arms around us. I can't thank the city of Frankfort and Kentucky enough, and how they let my kids' lives be as normal as at least you could ask for, and that makes me very grateful. I'm very happy to continue as governor for the next 3.5 years. Do we have Jessica today? She had no. Okay, Karen Czar.
Good afternoon, Governor. Thank you. Are any Kentucky National Guard members still assisting in other states following Hurricane Debbie? Thank you.
Our Kentucky National Guard is now back in Kentucky. We had sent a couple of our helicopter units, I think 3, but let me check that have the hoist capabilities and had a lot of practice in Eastern Kentucky to help out in Florida. What many people don't know is Florida sent a lot of their emergency management personnel that was in our EOC for months at a time, left their families, and were there to help us. So we immediately said yes when this request came in. And we remember that West Virginia and Tennessee's National Guard augmented what we had in terms of the hoist capabilities with helicopters, and that we would have lost hundreds of additional people without their help. So my hope is that this continues around the United States, that we develop more of these partnerships, that we say yes to each other when we need help, because when a natural disaster hits, there aren't Democrats and Republicans, they're just Americans that need our help, and we should all be united in responding. Okay, Gil McClanahan.
Here you go, Governor. I wanted to ask you about the issue here in Eastern Kentucky about the former clients of an former Social Security attorney, Eric Kahn. I did an interview with an attorney representing them, and he told me that Commissioner O'Malley has ruled that these former clients don't owe back payments. But this attorney said that Commissioner O'Malley told him that Andy had called me. My question is, are you that Andy that called him? Number 2, what did you say to the commissioner, and why did you want to intervene?
Well, I'm fortunate to have known Martin O'Malley, the commissioner there, for a long time. He's a good man. The administration is lucky to have his service, and Ned Pillersdorf, which has done an amazing job representing people who were done wrong, wears me out, rightfully so, in trying to get help to the people that he represents. So yes, I was more than willing to make calls to support those individuals. They are Kentuckians. Those are our Kentucky families, and proud to work with Ned. He is a true leader. He'll always tell you what he thinks. He'll always push for a little bit more. But if you think about how our people are now being treated compared to before he started